play some SideQuest. Let's do that.
We already went live.
Quest, your weekly journey into the wonderful world of video games, video game culture, and everything in betwixt. And you're joined by just a lovely trio of gamer dads today. I'm Dolly Domofsky. That's Taylor Bliss. I'm always off because I should know that my right is everybody's right. And our lovely friend Finn is back. That Saki guy who you might know from PAX East. We'll actually get into PAX East here in a little bit too, because we all have that lovely journey. Did want to say thank you again, everybody who's watching, everybody who's listening. SideQuesting.com, SideQuesting TV on the socials. Hop into the Discord. You have a good time in there. If you're a Patreon member, thank you. Don't need to be, but thank you to Patreon members. Thank you to our executive level, Punctified, who is awesome. Your shirt is on the way. Thank you to our producer levels, Zero the Prototype, Exaginous, Jeff Grubb, and Tessa Eller. And thank you everybody else who's a friend of the show, who just wants to help keep the lights on, because hosting is getting even more expensive. I think my wires are stuck in the Strait of Hormuz as well, because the cables are, because it's just taking a long ass time to get anything done. And here we are. It's lovely to see you, Taylor. How are you? You're at PAX, warming up PAX for us.
Yeah, I had to get ready.
Good to see. Yeah. And we're joined by Finn. I mentioned Finn.
Hello.
Finn's awesome. Finn has been on. He was on our
been a
panel.
while.
Yeah, it's always been a show. You were on our panel 2 years ago officially, and last year, we were able to sneak you onto the panel, even though the
surprise audience member of the panel. That was actually, I'm not gonna lie, almost as much fun as being up on the panel itself. That was a nice little audible.
I think, yeah, it's funny because we were at the last second. Tom couldn't make it, so we said, "Crap, we're gonna be down one person." And then here you go. See, new guy. No, new guy. Tom couldn't make it, and so I'm like, "Oh crap!" And then as we were walking in, we were finding out Tom couldn't make it, and Finn's walking in next to me, and I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing at 3:30? Nothing. Want to be on our panel? Sure." And then I immediately emailed the PAX folks, and they said, "Yeah, we have to do the background check if he's only if he's on a panel already." And I think you weren't technically on an official panel last year or something.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why they couldn't scoot you into our panel, because they need to do the background check, safety check. I mean, look at him. Look at him.
I know.
His room is far too clean to be
But also, I had an exhibitor badge and a media badge. It's not like I was in a vacuum. It's like, hey, here's a guy you already gave a bunch of badges to. But it all worked out, and like I said, it was just a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
Yeah, Taylor will rejoin. He's Linuxing. There he is. There he's back.
Emergency was required, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it had to go to the bathroom. I get it.
It was that fast.
That was quick.
Wow, lucky you. Listen, when you guys pass your mid-40s, it does happen that quick. I wouldn't know. I'm only 27, but it does happen that quick.
I know. Keep telling me.
Yeah. PAX East is coming up. We were just talking about PAX East. It is coming up in a couple weeks here. Oh, good Lord. In 2 weeks, we will be at PAX doing the PAX thing.
Which is
Finn's
crazy to think about.
Yeah, isn't it? We got some cool surprises. We got our panel Friday, 4:30 to 5:30, and then immediately after that, we have the SideQuest over at our friends at Howl at the Moon. We're expecting a pretty packed night, because it just so happens to also be March Madness weekend, which we were able to avoid last year, but not this year. So you will want to get there early, so you can grab a table. You can grab. The buffet is free. If anyone remembers the buffet, that's where we get our sustenance from.
Only the highest qualities.
And you know what? Those macaroni bites, and they have jalapeno poppers. Like, they have good bar, appetizer, and it keeps going all night. So, or till 8 o'clock, I say, but they keep restocking it. There are a couple drink specials we're not hosting that drink special part. But and they have a fantastic band. So I think last year we had close to 300 people show up, which was mind blowing. But it'll be a good time. Taylor, did you freeze again, or are you just
no?
Oh, there you go. You were frozen for a split second there. And again, it could be my internet this time.
I don't think I was frozen.
No, it was probably Chrome for me. I've been having Chrome issues. I've been having PC issues. I was letting Finn know ahead of time, just before the show started. Thank you to Taylor for helping me work through my
some of the roughest ones.
Some of the roughest ones. We actually went through the whole heat sensor stuff and tried to figure out why my laptop was just shutting off in the middle of some very non-powerful games. And it was because it was just getting too hot, to the point where I figured out finally with a function key, I can turn the fan on and off. You guys want to hear the fan? Let's see if it picks it up on the camera, on the microphone. You hear anything? No?
Noise cancellation too strong.
That's good. Yeah, I did. Okay, that's good. Good to know. Good to know. I'm going to shut that off right now. But thankfully, it gets cold right away. Like, it's cold, which is pretty wild. Anywho, we're going to play games. One last quick little PAX thing. I'm going to share my screen because if you have not yet purchased your tickets for PAX, and really you should, boy, have we got news for you. You can win a 4-day PAX East 2026 badge from us with our good friends, our partners at Penny Arcade at the Expo. 5 people are going to get 4-day badges. 5 times 4. It's 20 days worth of PAX happening. That's that math. That's how that works. But yeah, enter. You have until I think Sunday night. We got 3,400 total entries. There are a few ways to enter. Reminder. So it's like these entries are counted. Every time you do a post, every time you do if you went and liked or commented or whatever. So you can rank up that stuff. I think most people are averaging like 20 entries each, somewhere around there. So that's still quite a bit. We have several hundred people have entered. Very
that's
cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, and it's great. I mean, PAX East this year, we go for the indies, we go for the friends, like these lovely gentlemen here, and we go to hang out and go to cool stuff. And Nintendo's here this year. They weren't here last year. So it'll be a good time. And there's parties. We check out the party list too. So go ahead and enter. Hop on the SideQuest.com. Enter. You can use up some of those PTO days and join us. It could be a lot of fun. We're only covering the tickets. We're not covering your flight there, because have you seen the price of gasoline? Oof. Good Lord. I just moments ago got the notification. I have the notification set, the tracking set for flights to Los Angeles for Summer Game Fest. And in the last week, it's gone up $150 from like $500 from here in the Detroit area to $653. So I'm going to be purchasing my ticket now, because I don't know what the price is going to be like tomorrow or in June when that happens. Anywho, enough about that. Finn, catch us up. What have you been up to, dude?
Let's see. Being a dad. Got a 3-month-old now, alongside a 5-year-old whose birthday was Sunday. That's always fun.
Happy birthday!
And yet and I'm still able to somehow play video games. It's a wild thing.
There are a few of us on staff who I have the oldest child, I believe, and a few of y'all have. We have brand new babies, and we have toddlers, and we have like 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, and my 16-year-old. We run the full gambit. And then there's probably kids out there that some of us don't know about. But
my work, like, I travel a lot for work, and I gotta tell you, the greatest thing for me, outside of I have my Steam Deck, right, and I have a Switch 2, but for me, it was when they finally updated the PlayStation Portal to be able to log in to places that had a login portal, like hotels. Because I could never bring it when I was traveling for work, because you can't log in through a hotel. But then they finally added it. So now, because one of the games I'm playing at the moment is Ghost of Yotei, because I never got to it last year, and I'm close to platinum it now, and I've been able to play it on trips because it finally works in hotels. And it's just a nice thing to not have to drop a game for like a week straight and then have to come back and try and get back into the groove of it. So that's always been nice. But yeah, that's I mean, just in general, work and life and parenting and games, and it's just a nice little cycle.
For sure.
Things could be worse for me personally, even though things shouldn't be getting worse for life as a whole.
Right. Well, good to have you. Good to have you back on. Looking forward to seeing you with Saki.
Hell yeah!
In just a couple weeks here.
Can I tell you something neat about Saki this year? So you know how I always bring like Saki. So for those that don't know, Saki is like a personal mascot, just a little googly sock puppet with googly eyes, right? And so how I've been announcing my favorite games at PAXs and other shows is I'll give the developers their own like Saki, and they call it like the son of Saki or the scion of Saki, whatever. They give it their own name. They'll pin it to their booth. It's a silly thing. It brings me joy. But this year, so I'm from New Orleans. At Mardi Gras this year, one of the biggest parades, Bacchus, every single float threw custom socks. So all of the Sakis this year are going to be Mardi Gras parade.
Oh my God.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun little
That is cool. That you're hearing it first. You're going to have
this is a SideQuest exclusive.
World premiere. That's awesome. That's cool. It's funny because I remember the first time I saw Saki a few years back, well, God, maybe a decade ago. I don't even remember I don't remember how far back it was. I saw you giving Saki to a dev on a game. We had just given them like a printed out award on like an 8.5 by 10, and I had mounted it just like an image. And I see you come around, and you're like, "This guy's yours." And I like immediately turned to, I don't know if it was Taylor or JJ, or whoever it was this time, Sam. I'm like, fuck, that is way cooler than me printing out a freaking 8.5 by 10. You know, I should have done a portrait from Glamour Shots at that point, but I'm like, that's a genius idea.
But it's so much fun because so many people won't remember my name specifically, but they'll remember me as like Sock Guy, and I'm like, I'll take that. That's a fun thing to be known as.
It's cool. I can't wait to see who ends up with them. I'm sure we'll be walking on the show floor. And if you're walking on the show floor, make sure you check it out. Let's talk a little bit about a couple news bites, and we'll go on to some of the stuff we've been playing. There is, oddly enough, during GDC week, there's news, right? Who would have thought? And I think some of the bigger news, at least over the last several years, but definitely over the last couple weeks, has been Microsoft stuff.
Well, with the shakeup, it was only a matter of time. It was either going to be this or something else, right? It was either going to be from Microsoft, or rumors from partners, one or the other.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, not interested. Let me read on. Anyways, they finally did a presentation. I believe it was yesterday on Project Helix. I'm checking this out from GameDeveloper.com. Our good friends, Game Developer. Love that image, by the way. Anyway, Microsoft shared some more details. Nothing super deep. It's not like they can go out and say, here are the full specs, but they did at least say, you know, here's kind of what to expect. First and foremost, they said they're hoping to get alpha dev kits out sometime in 2027. What that means for actual hardware timing, I'm not sure. Does that mean a late 2027 launch? Who knows?
At the earliest.
If it's
going to be alpha in 27, yeah. Because even if dev kits always have beefed up hardware, right? So we always know that. So it gives us limited scope or view into like what kind of hardware the final product might have. But more importantly is that if they're delivering it as an alpha, software support is early. And that's what my biggest concern is, especially because, you know, obviously there's some amount of OS platform to build on coming from Series X. The problem is that they're branching significantly from that. And given what they did with the ROG Ally X, I'm not exactly confident in how good it's going to be. And so I would be surprised if it comes out in 27, personally speaking. I don't I don't think that they've done enough, and they just fired the two people that were leading up to this point. So I don't to bring in a brand new CEO of Xbox Studios and be like, yeah, we're going to deliver in under 18 months, you're going to have a ready to launch operating system platform under new leadership is kind of a tall order from my perspective.
Also, I mean, I know it's been said before, but I just have so many reservations about the fact that the person in charge now is also from their AI division. And like, just as someone that has to use Microsoft products a lot for work, and watching Copilot be forced into every aspect of everything. Yeah. And now they're talking about how Windows 12 is going to be like pure Copilot with no opt-out. And I don't know. It makes me nervous. I don't need Copilot in every aspect of my Xbox experience.
I'd be less concerned I'm always going to be concerned about the fact that there's an AI CEO taking it over. I would be slightly less concerned if her tenure at Microsoft as a whole wasn't so brief. Like, she's only been at Microsoft for, I think it was like 2 years. Like, she came on in 23 sometime. And prior to that, she was CEO bringing Instacart to IPO, I think. I talked about it the last time, probably the last time I was on the show was when it was still news. But there's nothing. I'm trying not to be demeaning, but there's not a lot there. Like, there's not significant Microsoft experience. There's not significant gaming experience. There's not significant. There's leadership experience, but there's dozens. Hundreds is probably a bit of a exaggeration, but there's dozens of extremely high leadership. Some might even say that Bond was one of them. That had been primed to take over and lead a division of a gaming company that, they had experience in doing so. So, there's certainly nobody asked marketing when they were like, "Hey, is this a good idea?"
Yeah.
Are the gamers going to like this one? Granted, Microsoft doesn't care. They tried it with Phil Spencer already, right? And the goodwill didn't really mean jack shit. So don't get me wrong, I get it. It didn't pan out the first time. You don't exactly go back to the same well. But pivoting into the AI that literally every single younger generation absolutely despises is one hell of a decision.
Choice, yeah,
it's crazy, especially when whether or not they think they agree with Phil Spencer when he made this. It's like we miss an entire we miss all of Gen Z when we didn't do X, Y, and Z, and then they're like, okay, what if we also kick Gen Alpha out of our ecosystem by bringing on AI, which is extremely unpopular with their generation? So I don't know.
I'm Finn. One of the interesting aspects, and it's been rumored that the Xbox was going to be Windows based, was going to play PC games, but during this presentation, they said, they're going all in. It's going to be both console and PC to the point where, as people were walking in, signage and screens basically said, "Develop your games for PC." So that you can play them on Xbox.
Yeah,
and it becomes an Xbox game. There is no more Xbox. By the way, they did seemingly they've quietly retired the "This is an Xbox."
Oh yeah, this is an Xbox.
The blog post is 25
gone. 26.
Yeah, the blog post is gone. As soon as Sarah Bond left, because she kind of spearheaded that.
Yeah,
that was gone. But we talked. We mentioned a little bit about the AI side, but the Windows side it's difficult for me, not necessarily from a functional standpoint. I can understand going to Windows because you're commonizing a lot, but I don't know the ROG Ally experience. I don't know. I haven't actually talked to enough people to understand that, but it just feels like I don't know. I'm curious your thoughts about going Windows based as opposed to having sort of a separate console ecosystem, I guess.
I guess for Xbox, it always made sense. Like that's how they were going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a PC gamer and you're using the Xbox app, I don't really think anything would really fundamentally change. Hopefully. I guess it just comes down to, are they going to integrate like current Windows? Is it going to be Windows 12? Like, how are we going to, console generations are designed to last like 5 to 8 plus years. How's that going to look with OS updates and stuff, if that makes sense? There's so much I don't know. Like, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, because Xbox, at least in the early years and before they got ad infused, had some slick UI for their consoles.
Right.
I want to hope for the best, but I've been conditioned to know that that's just not realistic. And I would, for the price that I'm expecting this to be, I really want them to just nail it out of the gate, because I don't think the Project Helix can survive another like Xbox One fumble out the gate. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Like it's already really rough.
Doesn't it feel primed to do so though?
It does.
It does.
But I'm trying to be optimistic. Like there's too much negativity about games, and I don't want to contribute to it. But at the same time, it's like I also know that a new console is a big investment, especially now with the cost of everything going up.
I can't believe they're doing it. Actually, I thought that this was gonna be the bow out moment.
Yeah, I agree. Or they would go extremely niche, right? Because the ROG is a niche product.
Microsoft's too big to go super niche. They can't do it. There's no way they're gonna. There's no way that from a organizational perspective they're gonna be like, we're gonna spearhead this super niche product. They couldn't. Well,
I shouldn't say
even build their own
super niche. Yeah, I shouldn't say super niche. I should say more like going the Microsoft Surface route, which is to say they realize that this isn't going to be everybody's main platform to get into. And with the Surface, that was Windows. Not everybody's main platform for Windows. People are getting their own Windows-based PCs everywhere else. But we want to offer something as sort of a slightly more dedicated way to get to Windows. And I kind of wonder if that's what they're going to do with Xbox. And we know you're going to get your Xbox games on PC everywhere. Maybe it's still in the cards to get Xbox, at least games on other platforms. Which they're definitely going all in on that. But what does that mean for the hardware? Are they understanding that we're no longer going to be selling the levels of hardware that we used to? So let's just make some stuff that's focused on Xbox players. We're not looking to drastically take over the console's ecosystem again. We're just making it an extension of, or another way to more dedicatedly play Xbox games.
I feel like that sounds like a licensing nightmare.
Okay.
if I'm going to be real.
Yeah.
Because how, like, obviously there's store cuts that's built in. I think that's pretty easy to get, that if you purchase something from the Microsoft storefront, it's different than purchasing it from Steam if you're on a PC, right? However, when you ship and launch and and somebody is footing money for developers to put stuff on platforms, doing the legal negotiations to put it onto a console is different than putting it onto a computer. And they're not going to negotiate the same way. If I don't know, like this is the reason why I'm so concerned about how they're going to approach it, because if they don't get the wording and the product at its launch correct, it's going to fuck up way more than just like how well does it appeal to the consumer space. I'm like, production companies are going to be like, how do I license this? How do I negotiate the contract for this? Because you're telling me it's a computer, and I already have this, but then you also tell me it's console. I don't know. It's spooky. It's super spooky. I don't know.
Well,
I want them to do a good job because I think competition is good, and I think that Sony already kind of sucks in a lot of ways for many of the things that they do, where they so desperately want to be Nintendo of like, I guess, like not Nintendo.
Sure.
How else do I put this? And the putting it to Microsoft at every chance they get has been kind of like their thing, and I worry about how bad how much worse from my perspective PlayStation gets without Microsoft there to like give them any sort of push on it. Sony will become very comfortable to sit in their lane, let Nintendo put out their first party titles, and then try and, I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll create a different type of competition dynamic between the two.
But you're right, because like the darkest time in PlayStation's history was their post PS2 ego fueled PS3 early gen, right? Like they ended the PS3 generation on the right foot, but it took years of them backpedaling their own
and getting hacked in a weird way too.
Yeah, right? It took the entire console generation for them to get it back.
And it was because Microsoft's 360
ate their lunch.
So much trouble that the PlayStation 4 was such a success because they took all the right lessons from that. But then the PlayStation 4 was a huge success, and Microsoft started stumbling. And like, what was it, Jim Ryan's era of brought back like the era of PlayStation we didn't want again. And it makes me sad because when PlayStation's good, they do so well, and then they just started chasing industry trends. And don't get me started on the Blue Point thing. And it's just like, like I get it. Everyone wants to be the next Fortnite, but when you were forcing all of your single player successes to suddenly become live service games, like, did we want, like, will the Horizon game be fun? Possibly. Is that what we wanted instead of an actual Horizon game? Did we want to lose Blue Point because of a God of War live service game? No. Did like Marathon's fine. It came from Destiny, that's what they do. We expected that from Bungie, right? But like, stop shoehorning in all this into your
watching the Blue Point discourse was really interesting to me, and I call it discourse based on like three social media platforms, because almost nobody's actually talking like internally has said anything about it because they don't want to. But the idea of if we're seeing back and forth of Blue Point wanted to do the game, no, Sony wanted them to do the game, and like it, I have a feeling, at least like I said, this is my opinion, of course, that they wanted to do a game. The dynamic pricing is a good one too.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah,
there it is.
That was a wild story too.
Like I'd argue that Blue Point probably did pitch to Sony to do a game. I'm sure that they pitched several, and that the most likely scenario to me is that the only one that was greenlit was, you got to use one of those power IPs that we got, and there's only like 3 of them right now. So I mean, there's 4, but
Astrobot.
Astrobot. Yeah, I don't think Astrobot was one of their pitches. I think they. Well,
that's on them. Okay.
I will disagree with that. So I don't know. I would love to know the actual story of who, like the deciding minds of the live service God of War game, whose heart was actually in it, and how it all fell apart. But
well, that seems like a really good like Jason Schreier expose that comes out like a couple months after the fact.
He is probably knocking on those hotel doors at GDC strictly for journalistic reasons. Real quick, I just wanted to mention the so-called power of the specs of Project Helix that we know of ish. So custom AMD based system on chip, co-designed for next gen of DirectX. These are words, don't worry about it, doesn't really mean anything. It says
next generation of DirectX actually does matter a lot. Mostly because DirectX has become the de facto kind of translation layer for for visuals, and if it has a leg up, and it matters if it becomes the next standard, and whether or not Sony's SOC also gets the same level of support for it.
Got it.
That could be like, it would be some fucking shenanigans, because DirectX is a Microsoft product, and so there could be some, levels of, competition, monopolistic behaviors. I guess I'll put it that way, to actively deny it from any other competitor in any way. But anyway, I just wanted to.
In there. Bring intelligence directly to the graphics and compute pipeline.
So that's meaningless garbage word.
That exactly. Order of magnitude increase in ray tracing performance capability beyond what's currently possible. Unlocking GPU for execution.
No shit. We made the last SOC before ray tracing was being.
Yeah, exactly. So we're catching up on some things. I did think this was kind of interesting. The GPU can generate its own workloads in real time, which I've been having GPU issues on my laptop. So understanding that just handling that aspect could be interesting, especially for some of these really graphically intensive games. But they're looking at, how do we take what has sort of held us back from developing really big worlds that don't need a bajillion hours of loading time, that have to do, a lot of
physics. Physics is the thing holding us back. And I can assure you that the next generation of Xbox is not going to be what breaks that barrier.
Yeah, no, agreed. So
otherwise their PC only games already breaking the barrier.
Yep, and they're saying there now we've reached some of the limitations of what's possible with traditional rendering techniques. So they really need to invent brand new technology. So, and they said, next version of AMD FSR is going to be in there. So, it's they're very coy about the information. You can't really give out too much info prior to. Because a lot of these details just haven't been fully locked down. I mean, we're a year off from around a year off, at least from getting the dev kits. So, these are going to be shifting. They're going to be changing. We may not have heroes-based characters in Call of Duty like we're showing here from at that time. But I think that from a big standpoint, being able to play Xbox console and PC games, I think, is what people were really gravitating towards from a story, because there are some caveats that come with PC. Mark says,
I was just about to say that shit.
PC games, this mean an end to paid online multiplayer, because you could just pop right out of that and play your PC game, right?
I would say, if I was Microsoft trying to actually win back market share, that I would do that.
Yep.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Steam doesn't. The Steam machine won't charge you for online multiplayer.
True. It also can't play competitive shooters. So you're effed on that one. I'm afraid.
Yeah. So that's that. There's a lot of the notes are there. I guess if you guys want to go looking through those details, but we really won't know until at least sometime next year. Starting sometime in 2027 will be the dev kits. You may see some stuff come out from Microsoft Studio, their studios, just to kind of give teases. But I think they're kind of clearing out their pipeline of current Xbox games, and that's all we're really going to be seeing over the next year, at least, before we see anything further of Project Helix. This is sort of the standard way to do things. You don't want to put the cart before the horse. At least you want to get the stuff you have in development out there. You want to devote time to it, but you do need to let developers know we're still here. We don't know where here is or where it is at this moment, because it's not an Xbox anymore. But we're still here somewhere. And then really one other smallish note, because we are kind of in the there's not a bajillion aspects of news this week because so much is centered around GDC. A lot of the industry is there. There have been, we talked a little about Highguard last week. We talked about Nacon going through some insolvency issues. We've talked about a few. There's been a lot of issues right now with studios shutting down, with layoffs, which is horrible, and it continues to happen. Especially around this time of year, it seems like during the shareholder time frame and results time frame. But it's always good to see when games are selling, because you can never tell how games are selling these days unless there is you're either going to get something like years down the line where the developer will say, oh yeah, we managed to sell 500,000 copies of this indie games to massive success. But we didn't. We got a couple announcements this week that Resident Evil Requiem has sold, was it 5.5 million, something like that?
Yeah, in the fastest of the franchise history.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. So I've been playing it. You guys playing it at all? Taylor, I don't think you're playing it.
Because I am a big scaredy cat. Now, hold 1 second.
I love that, because I typically am the big scaredy cat. Oh, he's getting something. Oh, here you go. He's got to turn all the lights on very bright. Otherwise, it's going to be, it's too scary for him. But it was great to see the numbers for Resident Evil. I think being on so many platforms this time is definitely helping, because, you see the...
Now, did I buy it to support it? Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Because it has a steelbook. Do I like to support things I love? Yes. Am I too scared? Have I never played a Resident Evil since 4? Also, yes. Do I own them all? Yes. Is that a sound fiscal responsible thing to do? Probably not. But you know what? It's people like me with our bad money decisions that keep this industry ticking, baby. So,
brother, you and me both. I'm constantly asking Taylor, should I buy this? And he's always saying no, but then he's always saying, but you do you. But no.
Listen, I support your choice.
Yeah, no, but right no, it's horrendous. But it is. From the journalistic side, it's just reporting numbers. But from an industry health side, getting these sales numbers is a good thing for folks that want to see the games, like I said, support. Go out there, because there was actually some information that came out from I think it was Valve did a talk today over on at GDC, or maybe it was late yesterday, I can't remember when, talking about the health of the amount of money that was coming back to sales on Steam. And now they said, hey, look, we broke the record for folks making $100,000 on Steam. That you might say, oh, that's terrific. 2025 was a banner year for that, but kind of a misleading messaging from them, because that's $100,000 in revenue. It's not profit. There's the cuts that Valve takes. There are obviously development costs associated with it. So really, very few people actually were turning decent profits from some of these games, just based off of what companies have to do to get that on there. But yeah, I mean, just seeing, we're in an era right now where there's a lot of us have really shifted towards these smaller indies and kind of mid-tier games, and not the AAAs, because the AAAs are expensive, and we see stuff that happens at the within the industry that kind of turns you off sometimes, some AAA games, or they're not as exploratory, right? Yeah, they're not as innovative because they can't be for whatever reason. And so celebrating good sales numbers is a good thing, I think, from the industry standpoint. I know Pokemon Company just announced that they sold 2.2 million of Pokopia on just one platform. That's actually less than what Pokemon Legends ZA sold, but I think ZA in that same time frame sold like 5 point something million, but that's also on the Switch. There's some kind of dual issues. People were buying the Switch version and then upgrading to the other version, so that one's a little bit more difficult, murky. But 2.2 million in 4 days is an astounding number cannot put that game down. We're going to talk about that game in a little bit anyways.
Well, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Is that the one thing I like about the Resident Evil and the Pokopia numbers is, and this isn't an absolute rule, but unlike Western studios, you never really hear about Japanese studios firing everybody after a huge success. Like, how many times do we hear stories like, this game's a huge success, we've cut everybody? You don't really get that in Japan, and for what various reasons, but it's nice to actually be able to be happy for a studio's success, because you don't have to worry, is next like investor call when they all get cut anyway. And it's just, it's nice, you know. It's you don't get that very often anymore.
And it's been a great kind of 2-week span there, because Mark also mentions, Slay the Spire 2. Taylor, I think you're deep in that one. I know a lot of those numbers have done huge. You also had Mugenics doing huge numbers. You've had a very solid couple weeks in the industry, and in cases like this, I think a rising tide does lift all ships, or doesn't lift a lot of ships, because the more people that are purchasing games, they're going to be inclined to pick other games too. Especially with the Pokemon issue right now, is they underestimated how popular the game was going to be for 2 reasons. One, shipping was bad. They couldn't get things shipped over from their manufacturers. I heard some buzz from there in time for whatever issue. Couldn't tell you why shipping is bad right now. And they just grossly underestimated how popular this would be, mostly because I think Nintendo Pokemon Company thought that people will just get this game digitally, and not realizing a lot of us still buy stuff from the physical media side for whatever reason. I bought the physical. And so there you go. You and me both, buddy. See, if we had JJ on here, JJ could talk all about his love about physical. But so I think that was another reason. But great numbers for both. And that's just, and for all these other games too. I think that's good health, because you have the biggest AAA games, you have games that aren't meant to be quote unquote blockbusters from these big developers and publishers also doing well, and then you have indies that are doing well. So it's a good time. It just puts more people on their platforms to play. Like,
it does.
If you're in Steam and you're playing Resident Evil and you put down Resident Evil, you're going to look at you're going to see other popular games, because it's just there. Slay the Spire, Mugenics. You can probably get a version of Pokemon Pokopia somewhere. I don't know how, but there are things that it always helps out. So good from that standpoint. And we're talking about some games. We're going to talk a little bit about the games that our limited edition consoles that I feel like a Ditto that would have rocked, man. Purple.
I think the biggest issue is that, especially for Nintendo, they don't do it for anything other than, they very rarely do it for anything other than a first party developed game. So I know I said rarely. I caught myself sorry, because I know that you would come back, that you were going to clap back.
Like Monster Hunter or something.
Yeah. I don't think that they had the full faith in. I'm personally blaming Nintendo. I don't think they had full faith in how well it was going to do. I don't think I don't think they thought it was going to do this well, even though it's Pokemon. Plus, they probably already have earmarked consoles already prepped for the next actual Pokemon game coming out. And you don't want to they have spreadsheets already dictating how much they expect for those to do. And so you can't bring in another one, especially one for, again, that's not your kind of your big push game to cannibalize those sales. It just doesn't look very good. So I think that's probably the primary reason why you don't put it in now and you wait for the other one.
Nope, I would be shocked if we don't get a Wind and Waves.
That's what I'm thinking.
Switch too. But also, I was hoping. I mean, I know it was way too early in the Switch's life cycle, but I was hoping for and also because it ended up not being as great as I had hoped. But I wanted a Metroid Prime 4 Switch 2.
That would have been great. Yeah.
Well, I just like limited edition consoles.
I think they're just having. They are lower than I mean, the other thing is that they're just more expensive to do compared to to what they used to be. I mean, how many Switch ones did they do? I mean, a lot more, but it also had a long tail. So we're still in early days.
You know what I'm surprised they don't do. And I mean, because it's been proven an effective method for smaller like outlets before for merchandise is why not have a set pre-order period? You can only go through Nintendo.com to order it. It won't be available in retail stores. And then they just make the amount of orders that they get. It's the limited run games method where they're like, we have an open pre-order and we're going to make them. And then that's it. And then we don't have to worry about retail chains and they'll know exactly how many to make. Let me have a pipe dream, Taylor.
Let him have it. Let him have this.
You know what?
It's the cafe press version of Switch consoles.
It's just so funny to like describe Nintendo not worrying about retail supply chains. It's like that's their like.
I know, but you said like it's more expensive nowadays, and so now they can only just make what they need. They have a cutoff point. If you didn't pre-order it, sorry. And then you don't have to worry about scalpers because they're just going to make one per person for as many as they need.
Scalping words.
Yeah.
But I would be able to get it. Okay. And that's what matters.
What's really funny is actually the fact that I think that if anything, a lot of their custom consoles are actually extremely easy to do for this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are just like custom etchings. And not, or like custom printings. It's not raw. They're not doing new molds or anything like that. It's not.
Yeah, it's not like back in the day with the N64 where we're getting like actual creations on top of it.
Like, sure. Oh god. I mean, even the was it the PS didn't the PS3 have a version with the slime from Dragon Quest actually sitting on top of there? An actual freaking metal slime. So cool. Or was it the PS4? That was PS4. But no, I think we're also so very early in the Switch 2's lifespan that they're just like, we just got to keep selling these things right now. I think the Winds and Waves might be the first one that you'll see as kind of a custom or a special console. But right now they just want to get whatever they can out there. They don't want to slow down any lines. There's all kinds of shipping and tariff issues, a bunch of other stuff right now. They're like, let's not rock the boat and let's just get stuff out there and we'll do what we do. But I think we'll see. It's Nintendo.
Yeah, I think
metal slime.
It'd be Nintendo. Really weird if we didn't, because I do believe every main generation Pokemon game has had a limited edition version of the console that's come out. I think so.
And spin-off games, because Eevee, the Pikachu and Eevee.
I think they treated Let's Go as a main version.
Kind of did, yeah.
Weirdly enough, because that's the one my wife got, and that's the one she still has.
They use it as a definite. If it, regardless of what other people think, they certainly, in a release cycle perspective, treated it as such because it was in the middle of things.
Yep. Let's get into games we've been playing. We were talking about Pokemon, so let's get into Pokopia because we've been playing up some Pokopia. Taylor, you have it.
I'll be back in 35 minutes. See you guys.
No, we won't take that long. But no, Pokopia has probably similar to you. I'm gonna assume, Finn, is kind of soaking up a lot of your hours.
Honestly, not as much as you'd think. I just kind of started dabbling in it just because for the longest time I had kind of dismissed it because I'm not an Animal Crossing guy. But there was just something about it that made me want to give it a try. And so I've only just started. The other games I've been playing, I wanted to like finish up before I really delved into a potential time sink. I also like that there's like an actual way to beat the game. That's what I like more in these types of games. I want an end to work towards. I don't need an always forever game. That actually is a detriment to me as a player. I like to play so many things. I need to know when I can stop and move on. Give me a story to finish. And so that is something I appreciate.
Yeah, there is definitely that aspect because you're so the interesting about Pokopia, and they never really made it apparent up until people were getting their hands on the game and talking about it, and really right up to launch. It's a sad game because in this game, all the humans have disappeared, and you show up as this lonely little ditto who misses their human trainer, and so your first instinct is to turn into them, right? So that's what this kind of humanish character is, right? And you're trying to find the human. Where'd everybody go? And so you're kind of dealing in this sort of post-apocalyptic world where everybody is gone, and you slowly meet Pokemon. I think is Professor Tangleworth is like one of the first ones you meet. He's the one that kind of helps giving you some of the initial quests and shows you how to meet people.
Why is the Tangela thing a professor? Is there a reason for this?
Professor. They needed a professor, man. They needed a professor, and there's always.
I know, but like, is that like a Pokemon? I mean, I don't know. I think that the last thing I knew about Tangela is that they added like a pre-evolution. Now, is this an actual Pokemon that
Tangrowth?
Tangrowth, yeah.
Is it like canonically smart, or is this just a Pokopia thing?
I don't think it's canonically smart, but I
don't think so.
To be fair, I can't. I don't know the.
I need the knowers to clock in on me.
But I do love that they made it a Tangrowth because it kept with the plant and tree based names of all the professors by making it a grass Pokemon. I just think that's a smart little thing to do.
Mm-hmm,
also, is that a TM disc on its head?
Yeah,
I would assume so.
I have not found out yet if that's usable or if you can get a hold of it, but that thing is just floating on its noggin there. But I'm like, what's different about this game and Animal Crossing, the writing in this game is so good. First and foremost, the way that all the different Pokemon are written are fantastic. You can. They all have their own kind of personalities. They have, obviously, every Pokemon has certain things they like and they don't like, the food they like to eat. So they are very true to the Pokemon aspect from there. But the way they talk, like they say yo, they're like, oh, yo, hey, what's happening? You know, like they'll throw kind of modern terms and stuff at you. And it's really funny, especially when you can see them talking to each other, interacting with each other, and slowly becoming friends. Hey, here's the professor. Yeah. But God, there's so much charm in this game, and there's definitely Animal Crossing influence in this. I think it's more so the Dragon Quest Builders 2 team, that's a phenomenal game. If you haven't played it, definitely go back and play it. Yeah. But mixed a little bit with what was the Xbox game? We were just talking about great Xbox games that had
thinking of Minecraft.
No, not Minecraft. Well, Minecraft. No, with the animals. Viva
Pinata.
Viva Pinata. There's so much of Viva Pinata built into this.
I knew you were talking about Minecraft, but it was
no. There is Minecraft-ish stuff in this too, because you can do. I've already seen some people create automations and stuff for doing all kinds of weird things. But
I think it mostly just comes from the fact that you break blocks. But
yeah.
It's just the square punching.
Yeah. But it's just charming as hell. It is, dare I say, it's the best looking Pokemon game because it's not trying to look like anything specific to the Pokemon universe. It's like, let's just make these good looking, fun, clean, simple Pokemon, and they look great. And I have my favorites already because I'm interacting with them every day, and they give you these little quests. Yeah, there you go, Viva Pan. They give you the little quests. They give you things to do. And there's an end game, and I'm just freaking. I'm in love with this. The wild thing is, and again, I don't know how far you've gotten, but there are these gates within the world, and every time you kind of raise your town level up, you can open up a gate, and you can actually do the gates in kind of any order that you want if you could bring your level up high enough for your town. The first gate you'll probably open up is this secondary kind of seaside town that you see it in the video here. I won't get too into it, but it's very sad because it's literally
a ghost town.
It is literally a ghost town. You see pictures of like there's pictures around this town. The houses are all like just falling apart. There's beds, there's like, closets and stuff. And you're thinking the humans actually lived here and now they're all gone. And you'll find like a Pokemon here and there that's just so incredibly lonely. And it's almost like weirdly heartbreaking. And then here you coming into, you come in to bring life back to it. That's just the first major gate. Zach and I were talking about it in the Discord. Like that's a weird wow moment in Pokemon to have to experience this. It's just so wild. So yeah, it's good. It's I freaking love this game. Like I've played a few games this year that are already great. This probably sits neck and neck with me for Resident Evil 9. I already put way more hours into this than Resident Evil 9 because it's just a very easy, chores. They're actually enjoyable chores in this game as opposed to like Animal Crossing, which weren't as enjoyable. But yeah, this is gonna have some long legs, man. It's gonna have long tangled legs and arms in this sucker. It's good for Pokemon. You've been playing Ghost of Yotei?
That is correct. I got it when it came out last holiday, but I didn't have a chance to get to it, so I finally started playing it. And I loved Ghost of Tsushima, and this is just such a good sequel, and it's absolutely stunning. Like, I understand graphical fidelity isn't everything, but when it's done right, like the way the environment and weather and just the ambiance of everything, it's so much fun to play. I'm really enjoying it. I'm in the final region right now, so I'm nearing the end of it, but it has been just a delightful experience. I'm really enjoying the story. I'm loving the characters. The gameplay has been top notch. I love the tweaks to the combat since Tsushima. Just as a whole, will always have a soft spot for these like open world games when done right.
Sure.
Like I enjoy doing everything on the map and like doing my little checklists of my little side quests. It's cathartic and almost, zen like sometimes when you're just clearing out chunks of a map. But yeah, it's been really fun. And yeah, it's a big AAA game from one of Sony's powerhouse studios. I don't think anyone was surprised that it was good. Now that I've played it, even though last year I was 100% a Clair Obscur fiend, and I was happy that it swept the awards, now I understand like why Ghost fans were bummed that they had so many nominations and didn't win anything, because I do feel like they deserve to win in some of the categories. But say la vie. Point is, I'm enjoying it now.
Excellent.
And I am posthumously awarding it one of the best games of 2025.
I've only played a little bit of Tsushima, and I loved what I played. So I'm like, I got to finish up Tsushima and get into Yotei because I just love the direction that they took with it.
Also, I just enjoy that it's not a sequel. Like it is just its own thing. So you don't have if you went into it. And also just a little nod Sucker Punch puts in, like you'll find little Japanese like painting murals that serve no purpose but to be homages to their previous games.
Okay.
So you'll find like a mural of like that depicts the finale of Infamous 2, or you'll find one, of their very first game. Stuff like that. It's just the neat, nice little Easter eggs that are sprinkled throughout the game. But yeah, Ghost of Yotei is more like Ghost of Yotei. Am I right?
There you go.
Hell yeah.
You got him. That's it. We can pack it up. Bad jokes.
Also, Mark Griffith is correct. If there's one thing Sony first party games across the board just crush, it's the photo mode.
Yeah,
they're so good.
Yeah.
It was never really a thing I cared about until they started really pouring in the love into it. And man, yeah, Yotei has some good stuff for it. Also, you can play the entire game through these different filters that are based off of different Japanese cinematography. Like you can do the full on like black and white, but the blood is red type of thing. You can do a whole one in a different Japanese film grain. Like they go really hard on these different things. I'm gonna hold on. What are the names of it? I'm blanking on it. Here we go. Cinematic filters.
Okay.
I'm looking it up right now. Oh, really? You're not gonna tell me what they are? Just gonna say that they're cool. Oh, like the Mike mode, a collaborative venture from the 13 Assassins director, pulls in the game camera a lot closer during combat to really make it feel more intense, and it'll add like mud and blood splatter onto your camera. And then
cool.
The Samurai Champloo director has his own mode, and it adds a bunch of like lo-fi beats in the background during combat and exploration. If you've ever like watched Cowboy Bebop or Samurai Champloo, then you'll know why that's cool. There's the Kurosawa mode, which like I said, is all black and white with an audio filter. Like it's just, that's the kind of attention to detail that you just don't really see in other games sometimes. And I really appreciate, like, most people would probably not even notice that's an option in the menu, but like they straight up made it so that the entire games can be played in these filters that are just love letters to different Japanese directors. And I just think that's neat.
Sure.
Anyway, that's all I got.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You also play one indie game too.
Yes. So it's I
love our indies.
One genre I love very much is Metroidvania. And so a new one dropped in January called Kotama and Academy Citadel. It's very anime inspired. It's a little too waifu for me, but luckily like the plot doesn't get creepy about it, which I was worried about at times. But the gameplay has a really cool like mechanic to it. I know, right?
Cool.
I know.
I'm sorry, the title "Anime Metroidvania" just being a headline.
They lean into it, but I like the mechanic that they have where every like room, the whole thing is based on like this time loop mechanic where every time you go through a room, it sets out you lose one charge, and if you go too far, then like the world kind of shifts a little. And some things can't happen because the time has changed. And so you have to find new routes to get to certain objectives within your different like time frame. And the gameplay, you have different weapons that you can swap at will. And they each have different move sets that also give you different traversal methods. So I mean, like it's not an upper echelon Metroidvania, but it's not a trash one. As an anime fan, I enjoy the aesthetic, even though, again, I must stress, waifu stuff is not my cup of tea, but luckily it's so minimal that it has not impacted my enjoyment. Like, I don't feel like if someone watched me play this, I need to feel ashamed or like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, justify it, I guess.
Sure.
And like there is no one thing I was worried about because this takes place in a school setting. Like I was worried about like, oh, she's not underage. She's actually a 1,000-year-old dragon. Doesn't happen in this game. So as a Metroidvania, it's fun, and sometimes that's all you need in a little like January random indie drop.
Love it. Like those are the best. We love our January indies. We love our just crazy January drops.
Like if you're an indie developer, January is such a good time to drop because the AAAs haven't dropped yet. You might get some people with some post-Christmas like store money. Like, oh, I got some.
I think our game of the year the last 2 years has dropped around January, February timeframe. Last year was like Nubby, and then I think the year before was Balatro / 1,000 Times Resist, like both landed around that same time.
Oh man, what a good game that! What a nice surprise. That's also what I love about PAX. Just to bring it full circle, is coming across a random game that you had no idea, had never heard about, and then suddenly it's one of your favorite games of the show.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I remember that happened with Slay the Princess. Had no idea what that game was. It was just on the show floor, and you're like, oh, well, this is neat. Also, shout out to Zero, the prototype in chat. Got to see the Watanabe live, and he answered stuff. That's cool. Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, we're all jealous as fuck.
Salty at all. Kick him out of chat for no reason. I don't know.
Let's ban him from the Discord server. Sorry.
Yep. Taylor, what have you been playing, bud?
Slay Spire.
Speaking of which,
I just bought that. I just bought Slay the Spire too. I have not touched it yet though, but I just got it.
Man.
Taylor got me to buy the first one very easily because it was on sale for like $7 or $8 on the Switch. So I'm like, fine, I'll get it. So yeah, I've put hours into that sucker already.
Dude,
you're right.
Slay Spire 2 is crazy.
Yeah.
So is it a big over the first one?
Is it what?
Is it a big Like I like the first one.
Mm-hmm.
There are many more of the same moments, and then there's also a lot of this is harder than the first one moments. It's Megacrit has not come out and been like, I'm not reviewing the game, so I can do this.
Yeah.
They didn't do a Darkest Dungeon 2, which is take a beloved first iteration of the game and then try something extremely, extremely different and kind of fumble, especially or at least as far as core fans are concerned, which is what many, many people thought of Darkest Dungeon 2. Many people liked it too, but there's a lot of people that were disappointed in it. I personally don't think that it is so similar as to detract from it, because I don't think there's anybody else that can do it as well, frankly. As far as making like a deck building, I guess you could say that Balatro was something where you were fighting against the chips or the card, against the score. But as far as a deck builder where you're battling against your character and you have to kill other characters, there's no other company that can do it like they can.
I think my favorite thing I heard about it so far is that even though it's an early access game, they're like, early access feels like a suggestion so they can just add more stuff later on. But like,
I think that's extremely. Okay. I don't think that's overly generous to suggest. The biggest thing that's early access about it is the amount of placeholder art that they have. And if you played Slay the Spire 1, there's mods in Slay the Spire 1 where you can play with the kind of early access prototype art in that game, so that because people find it endearing. It is placeholder in like the truest sense of the word, where somebody literally clearly doodled it in MS Paint. All the lines are super fat and like very, very rough. And yeah, I mean, there's like one enemy that I can recall specifically that has absolutely no animation to it. Like, we're looking at stuff here where all the characters are moving. There's one, I think it's an elite fight, and he literally just stands still the whole time. I think that's like the most glaring thing, other than the portraits. But it's, yeah, I don't know. Like if you played Slay the Spire 1, you're like, I don't want to play more of this kind of game, then you will not be interested in Slay the Spire 2. I'll put it that way.
Okay, that's fair.
But if you played Slay the Spire 1 and you're like, that was a really good game, and I would like to play another iteration of it, then you will love the warm embrace that Slay the Spire 2 will provide to you. And also, the four player co-op is an insane thing to introduce.
That's awesome. I usually wait. It's in early access. I tend to wait until
I usually do too, and for this an exception.
Yeah, I mean this one. Yeah, I think there are very few games. This Hades 2, I think a couple others that are worth making that exception. Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Now,
other than that, I dipped into Resident Evil 2. I bought.
Oh, cool.
The remake pack was on sale. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And so I picked that up, and I think I put like how many hours? Does it tell me? Will it tell me? Yeah, like just under 4 hours into RE2. And I got to a point. This is when I was playing. I played a little bit of Marathon with Zach, so I played it on my Windows machine, and then I went back to Linux, and there was one spot where unfortunately it was crashing, and then I got past that part, but then this is a classic Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 problem, and I was like out of ammo. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I might have to bow out, not because I have the mental fortitude to like go back, load an earlier save, beat a boss a different way, do better with ammo conservation, that kind of thing. I literally don't have the time. Like, it's so funny because I've already put in a quadruple that amount of hours into Slay the Spire too. But maybe it's just because of my overall time is availability is so low that if I feel like it is objectively wasted to, I don't know. It's a mentality thing that I can't quite shake. I can lose a deck or like a run of Slay the Spire 2, start over again, and not feel like I wasted any time. But because if I make a big mistake in a linear game instead, I'm like, that it's a bridge too far.
Sure.
But anyway, I will. It gets one more go. I want to beat a boss a different way one time, and if I still have ammo problems, I will move on to the next game, and I will continue that cycle until I get to RE4 remake, where I know that I won't have it, and then I'll get to play new RE again. So
some new RE stuff.
That's my
RE4 was the one that the first one I was actually able to go all the way through with. I think it's because it's more action than it is survival. So you
listen,
won't have.
I was tempted to skip right through it and just go 4. But I'm trying to pay homage, to give everything that's due. Anyway, that's all I've been playing.
Cool. I think that's gonna be it for reviews. I was going to crack open something. I'll just let you guys know what I did get in the mail to review. I think I'm gonna have to do this earlier because it is very sweet. But I'll start with Mao. Good friends, you guys know that we are slowly becoming food influencers, with especially with the beverages from 5 Hour Energy. But we've also been getting beverages from other companies too. And I do want to give a quick tease as to what the latest beverages are.
Wild Bills know, man.
Yeah. So I'll just say on the next episode of the SideQuest, sometime next week, I might lead off with this, or I might just do a separate one on my own. It'll be early in the day. We got the new G Fuel flavors.
Dragon Ball,
Super Saiyan. We got the Tetris Blast. And because Fallout is hot right now, we got the Nuka Grape. So expect a full review once I start cracking these open.
You had me at go-to.
I've taste testing next week of each of these, and I'm excited. I've been I want to use these prior to a workout, so that's why I might do it just a little bit earlier. Yeah.
If you weren't a coward, is bring them to PAX and we'll do a live group taste testing.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually. Yeah. Okay. Maybe that'll be
maybe Finn can be part of that for no reason.
Okay. Maybe that will be the way I might do a few of these then. I might do myself. That sounded wrong. I might do a taste testing myself first, and then do one at PAX with all of you, because really the joy of tasting stuff isn't just taking my word for it, it's taking all of y'all's word for it. So super cyan like the color. But
I'm just saying.
I'm just super saiyan. With that, yeah, we'll do that. It's a great idea. Smart idea.
Dang, that Finn guy, he's pretty
that
cool
Finn
sometimes.
guy wrecked us. No, great, smart, good idea, man. Yes, on that note, we're gonna let everybody go. We're a little bit over an hour, totally fine. Glad y'all could stay with us. I'm gonna go play some Resident Evil 9, actually. Put aside the Pokopia for a bit. You can find Taylor and I over on the SideQuesting Discord. You can find SideQuesting on YouTube and Twitch at SideQuesting TV. Where can we find you, Finn?
At NOLA Nerdcast. NOLA, nerd like us, and then cast like what we're doing right now. NOLA Nerdcast is me on all the socials, Blue Sky and X, which still is a thing, and Facebook, which is also a thing. Yeah, I'm just NOLA Nerdcast. I keep it simple.
Or I'd like to say you're Nolan Erdcast.
Yeah, Nolan Erdcast. Finn, I thought Dally said your name was Thin. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
thank you so much. Yeah, Finn. So my name's actually Matthew, but it turns out there's just so many white guys named Matt that I just go by my last name to differentiate a little bit. So Finn is a lot more fun. Anyway.
Oddly enough, on that note, there were so many. I used to go by Danny because that's what I was my whole life, was Danny Demosky, and get professionally working. Everyone's calling me Danny, and there were a lot of Dannys there. There were 2 or 3 other Dannys just in like the department around us. I'm like, well, I can't call myself Danny now. These dudes have been here for a lot longer than me. I don't want to step on their game, step on their toes. I'm like, call me Dolly. Call me close to my real name, Dolly or Dolly Boar. And everyone's like, fine, we'll just start calling you Dolly. No sooner did I switch over than they laid off everybody named Danny in that group. So I was like, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm sticking with Dolly.
That was what saved you. They were just,
I guess so,
clean cut Danny's, and you were like, I'm not Danny. I don't know.
They're gonna alphabetically. They're stopping at DAL instead of DA. And if I'd let go one more letter. But yes. At Nolan Nerdcast. Finn, it was awesome having you on. Definitely gonna have you again. We're gonna see you at PAX for sure. We're gonna do a taste test, have a good time there. I like it. I'm excited.
I've gotten a much more opening for my nights now to be back on shows. So I'm trying to get myself back out there.
Sweet. We'll have you on again very soon. Very soon.
Taylor, good to see you.
For sure. Great to see us. Everybody have an awesome week. Have an awesome weekend. We'll see you in the next episode of the SideQuest. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yay.
Bye.